back to the YouTube channel at Provenzo Vid, and this is my round 7 NRL tips of 2023. So, look, a big round coming up. I have no doubt about it. Full of interesting matchups on the field, but off the field as well. And I'm saying off the field because look at Thursday night, Dolphins and Rabbitohs. It's Wayne Bennett v Jason Dimitri, and that's a perfect way to start off Thursday night footy for the round 7, because obviously your master and your apprentice, that's the type of situation that it was between them two. So, look, I guess it'll be interesting to see who comes on top there. Then obviously Mark Nichols against his old club as well, which is interesting. So, yeah, that'd be a good one to watch. Obviously, now, like on Friday, 2 big games, Sharks, Roosters at Shark Park, and obviously the Battle of Brookie, Manly and the Storm will be at that game too. So, if you're going there as well, let me know in the comments down below. But seriously, looking at all the games for Saturday, Sunday, some big games. Warriors, Cowboys has potential, I think. Sunday, Bulldogs, Eels, yep, should be good. Yep, should be a great weekend ahead. I'm looking forward to it. But before I do get into my tips furthermore, just want to say, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel already, please be sure to subscribe. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment your tips in the comment section down below. Look, nearly at 3,100 subscribers, and yeah, there's no doubt the channel is going in the right direction. So I do appreciate all the new support and the new subscribers that have checked in my channel and recently subscribed. So thank you very much for the continuous support. But until then, let's get into my tips for round 7. So on to the first game, round 7 is Dolphins taking on the Rabbitohs at Suncorp Stadium up there in Brisbane. This makes it to be a very interesting game, like I said. You know, it's I mean, like I said, with obviously Wayne Bennett v Jason Dimitri, that makes the game big. But I think just in terms of form, it's hard to split both sides, I think, in this game, because I think Dolphins have been good, despite some, I guess, a disappointing loss to the Dragons week before was their worst performance of the year. So, and then they come out and beat the Cowboys in Townsville, which was impressive. And as for Souths, had a great win over the Bulldogs, but I think they're still in the jury of a couple of things. So we'll see how they go on Thursday. But I'll go for the teams just quickly. So for the Dolphins, Jesse Bromwich returns up front after missing last week's win over the Cowboys due to illness. Jarrah Wallace is out after suffering a Category 1 concussion, with JJ Collins coming on the bench. The other changes include Robert Jennings back on the wing for Edric Lee, and Ray Stone to start alongside Jesse Bromwich in the middle, with Herman Sciesci on the bench. And for the Rabbitohs, Alex Johnson has been named to return on the wing, so that means Isaac I can't say that middle name, but Isaac Thompson has also been named, but will be monitored early in the week, with Tane Milne listed as 18th man. And Jai Arrow returns, which is a big in for the Rabbitohs side off the bench. Starting. Is he? Yeah, a prop. Yeah. Okay, so that's a big in either way. Jai Arrow returning to the Souths lineup. Who am I tipping? I am going to tip the Dolphins here. I think the Dolphins will be a bit too good. And see, I really could go Souths here. Like, honestly, I think you know, that they have enough attack and enough good talent to trouble the Dolphins. But I don't know. I just think there's some confidence there with the Dolphins. Wayne Bennett, they're all you know, connecting, and the players are responding to Wayne. And I just think there's a lot of good confidence there that I think it's hard to sort of hose down. So I'll go the Dolphins here by 4. And first try scorer is Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. On to the first game of Friday. It is the Sharks taking on the Roosters at PointsBet Stadium at 6 p.m, the first game of the two. And this is a blockbuster, and I really cannot wait for this one. Yeah, so the week before, obviously the Sharks had a really disappointing result against the Warriors. And it's a game they should have won, because they were obviously leading for a fair while there until the Warriors came back at Shark Park and won 32-30, which is no doubt embarrassing for that Shark side to cop. So, yeah, you know, back at home, they'll like to think that they'll bounce back. And as for the Roosters, looking very dangerous at the moment. They are very red hot in terms of form. I don't know how you're going to stop them once they get their full team back, but yeah, they're looking really good, the Roosters. But even though that loss against the Storm hurt them, they are still getting some troops back. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they do go this week. But looking at the Sharks team, Wade Graham, suspension, returns for the Sharks, and Oregon Kaufusi concussion are both big inclusions for the Sharks, and Toby Rudolph foot and Dal Finucane suspension sideline both following the bye. Both will come off the bench. And Royce Hunt and Cameron McInnes promoted to the starting side. Braden Trindle drops out of the 17 with Tom Hazelton to play in his first game of the year. And for the Roosters, James Tedesco returns to fullback after missing a week due to concussion. That pushes Joey Manu back into the centres, and Drew Hutchison comes to the bench, and Jake Turpin out at the 17. And Matt Lloyd has also been included on the bench for Fletcher Baker, who has been ruled out because of concussion. My tip for this game, very, very tough. It is tough to pick this one because we'll see who responds the most out of their losses, last week and the week before. But I will tip... I'll tip the Roosters here. I think that they can get the win here. And I'll go Roosters here by 4. But, see, I don't know how the Sharks could have 2 back-to-back losses at Shark Park. That's what worries me about tipping the Roosters here. But I just think there's enough talent there to get them over the line, and they should be too good, I reckon. So, Roosters by 4. First try scorer. Going to go with a bit of a roughie here, and I'm going to back in first try scorer Teague Wilton for the Sharks. Alright, on to the big one now. It is Manly versus Storm, and this takes place at 4 Pines Park down there at Manly, so I'll be there. And cannot wait to be there too. I mean, tough game, but look, being back at Brookie is always a fantastic vibe, and I love the ground. I love being amongst the fans, watching the Sea Eagles play. So yeah, it should be good being there on Friday. Manly versus Storm. Yeah, Manly had a tough result against the Panthers last Saturday, which I was at, and I don't know what's happening at the moment. They don't seem to be doing too well in defence, and they don't really seem to be playing like how they did in the opening 3 weeks of the season, and including pre-season trials. So, don't know what's happening at the moment. It's really weird, I'd say, but maybe this week is the week they kind of reconnect and go again, but we'll see. It's a tough task against a Melbourne team that's in red-hot form. The way they play against the Roosters, if they do that to us, we're in a bit of trouble, I reckon. But we'll see. Going through our team for Manly first. So Ruben Garrick is out after failing a HIA, which is a big loss, and that means Ray Vega will come on the wing, which is a good move, I reckon. He's a good player, Vega, so I'm keen to see how he goes. Carl Lawton's shoulder has been ruled out with Aaron Woods playing his very first Manly game for us, so that'll be interesting to see how he goes. And Taufafel Sipley joins the bench as well, with Sean Kepi listed as 18th man. So maybe Kepi's, I don't know why Kepi's out of the team, but yeah, interesting. And Cooper Johns will start at 5'8" with Josh Schuster in the reserves in jersey 22. So it could be a late in, I hope, but we'll see what happens. And Kyle Weeks returns to the bench as jersey 14. And Tom's going to play. And for the Storm, Nick Meaney suffered a delayed concussion symptoms following Thursday night's win over the Roosters and is out. So Cameron Munster plays fullback. Jonah Pezzett starts at 5'8" with Jerome Hughes. And Sualavi Falungo is the new man on the extended squad. And Nelson Solomona is edging closer to a return, but is back at round 8 at the earliest. Alright, my tip for this game. This is going to hurt because I've never really backed against Manly. And, I like always tipping the boys because I really do believe that they are, they're my team, obviously, and I always believe in them. And I think they can do a job every week. But, I don't know, it sucks doing this because it hurts that I'm actually tipping against them here. But I'll have to tip Melbourne. Just got to do it. I think Melbourne have a bit more in them, and obviously, if you're smart enough, you know that they are obviously a lot more informed than what we are. So, and we can't beat big teams. Until we can beat a big team with most of their stars in it, then I don't think we have any hope. But I'll back Storm here probably by 12. And first try scorer is going to be Will Warbrick. I think we're going to struggle. Hope not, though. On to the first game of Super Saturday. It is the Warriors taking on the Cowboys. And this game's been played at Mount Smart Stadium in New Zealand. Obviously both sides not played too long ago, actually. Back in round 3 was the last time these clubs play against each other, I'm pretty sure. So, will be interesting to see how this one does pan out because I believe both sides are, in the similar boat. I think Warriors have been better, but I think Cowboys aren't too far behind despite, I guess, a few losses that weren't expected to happen this year. But, look, I think it'll be a tight game, nonetheless. But, look at Warriors team first. Murray Martin is out with a leg injury. Wade Egan head knocker out. So that's big blows to the Warriors there. That's huge. Dylan Walker starts at 5'8", and Freddie Larsik has been promoted to start at hooker. Tohu Harris has been named to make a return from a knee injury after 2 false starts. Edward Kosi and Marcelo Montoya have retained their wing spots for the game for the time being, despite veteran winger Dal Martinez-Lesniak returning from a calf injury, who's in the reserves. And for the Cowboys, the big guns are Jeremiah Nanai's back, and Murray Talangi is also back, so that means Brendan Elliott makes way for Talangi, and Griffin Name's out with an injury, so he's out for 2 months with a throat injury. That's not good. My tip for this game, it's a tough one to pick, like it really is. But look, Wade Egan and Murray Martin are such big blows to their spine. Like that's huge. Like that's some huge losses there. I'm gonna tip the Cowboys actually. I'm gonna be different. I'll tip the Cowboys here, but look, you know, it's one I could definitely regret. But because those 2 players, Murray Martin and Egan out, and then obviously for the Cowboys, Talangi and Nanai are back, I just think it's just so. Yeah, look, I think the advantage is with the Cowboys here because they get, obviously, their stars back and the Warriors have lost some. So, I don't know. I could regret this one. I really could. But I'll tip the Cowboys here by 8. I think they'll get their revenge from last time they played. And first try scorer, going to go with Marcelo Montoya. On to the next game now. It is the Knights and the Panthers playing at 5:30 p.m. at McDonald Jones Stadium. So, yeah, this is a very... Look, you may think it's a one-sided game, and obviously it could be a smashing and stuff, but I look at Newcastle recently. There's a new lease of life in them, and they are definitely playing to like an area of footy where they probably could do with this side, and you know, they're obviously doing a good job. So can they continue it come this game? We'll have to wait and see. But you know, both Panthers and Knights have been winning some games, so we'll see how they go. For the Knights, Jayden Bradley, well, this is sad because Jayden Bradley's out for the rest of the season due to an ACL injury, so he's out, and Phoenix Crossland starts at hooker from halves, and Tyson Gamble will start at 5'8", returning from a head knock. Matt Croker looks set to shake off the leg injury which plagued him last week, so he's been able to start lock. And for the Panthers, an unchanged lineup for them, so no changes there. And Liam Martin is in reserve, so it could be a late inclusion for the Panthers there. Who am I tipping though? Look, Knights have been good recently, but I think Panthers, in the way they're going, once the Panthers are finding their red-hot form and the best footy that they can play as, I just think they're too strong and they're too hard to handle. Like you saw what they did to Manly. Their speed and their class is just all there, and that should definitely... be too good in this game. So, yeah, Panthers will be too good for the Knights. I reckon they'll win 13+, and I'll go to Ruva for first try scorer. On to the last game of Super Saturday. It is the Titans taking on the Broncos at Seabus Super Stadium. So, yeah, the last game of Super Saturday, you know, it was a case where it used to be big brother versus little brother, I remember, between these 2 sides. Like, every time Titans and Broncos played, I always heard the reference big brother versus little brother, which I'm assuming is the Broncos are the big brother and the Titans are the little brother. But who gets the bragging rights in this game, I have to find out. But yeah, this will be a very interesting game, I reckon. For the Titans, there's no room left in the 17 from last week's match winner, Toby Sexton, who has been left out. So that means Kieran Foran is back from a calf injury after being signed by the club at the end of last month. Yeah. I was looking at the wrong thing there. Foran's back, and West Tigers prop Thomas McCarley is set to make his club debut, who's returned from the Super League, so it's good to see him playing there. And he'll play off the bench alongside Cruz Leamy, who will also play another game of NRL. And for the Broncos, Thomas Flegler is out after failing a HIA last week, which means Corey Jensen starts in the front row and Kobe Hetherington joins the bench for his first NRL game this year after missing the start of the year due to a ruptured biceps. And that's all the changes there for the Broncos. Who am I tipping in this game? A very interesting tight game here because I don't really know myself who... I mean, look, I've got a fair idea, but I just think Titans are definitely worthy of causing an upset. But I will go the Broncos here as that's the safest option. So I'll go the Broncos here by 10 points, but Titans, they can do it, and I think with Foran back, that's going to help. But, yeah, look, I think Broncos, and the way they're going, it's hard to stop that. So, and they'll like to bounce back from last week, I have no doubt. So, Broncos by 10, first try scorer, Jesse Arthurs. On to the first game on the Sunday there. It is the Raiders taking on the Dragons at GIO Stadium in Canberra. And look, another really interesting clash. Now, I know I keep saying every game is really interesting, but this one is quite interesting because I think Raiders, after having a win against the Broncos, will give them confidence heading back at home. And as what I can see here, Jack Whiten's back, so that's going to help them even more. And yeah, the Dragons obviously would be filthy that loss against the Titans, so they'll like to respond as well. So, and they've been better actually, the Dragons, as of recent. So we'll see how both sides perform, But looking at the Raiders team first, Jack White returns from suspension and starts at 5'8". Joseph Tarpany is back on deck after missing round 6 for the birth of his first child. Nick Kotrick makes a timely return after missing last week because of a hamstring injury, and last few weeks, I should say, and in place of Jordan Rapana, who was out after suffering a nasty facial injury. And Jared Croker has kept his spot in the 1-17 there, so that's good to see. And Peter Holler and Brad Schneider drop out of the 17. And for the Dragons, Zane Musgrave starts at prop in the straight swap for Francis Molo, who's out obviously for suspension for a high tackle. And Tautau Moga, I guess he's start on the wing in place of Makali Ravalawa, who is set to miss 3 weeks with a hamstring injury. The rest of the side is unchanged though. So, no changes there for the Dragons. Who am I tipping? I'm going to tip Canberra here in Canberra. I just think Canberra... being back at home with Wyden and Tarpany returning and obviously coming off a good win against the Broncos at Suncorp, there's no doubt their confidence will be through the roof, and I think that confidence will get them over the line here. Look, Dragons are being alright, but obviously Raiders plays a bit more strengths. So I'll take the Raiders here by 6, but nothing in it though. And first try scorer, going to back in Matthew Timoko. And on to the last game of Sunday, it is the Eels taking on the Bulldogs at CommBank Stadium. And it's a big rivalry game, this one, because, it doesn't get talked about enough, I don't think, the rivalry that Eels and the Bulldogs have, because there's always, something leading up that's big happening in the game. And, it's a very underrated rivalry, in my opinion. So, Eels and Dogs on Sunday should be good. And that's the last game of Sunday, too. I'll go for both sides. So, for the Eels, co-captain Junior Paolo returns from a suspension to bolster the Parramatta pack, and with Wyrie Gray returning to the bench, and Jack Murchie dropping out of the 1-17. There are no other changes there. And for the Bulldogs, Pango Jr. has been named to start a prop in his first game of the year, with obviously him being back from a calf issue, which is huge for the club. And Viliami Kikau will return from an 11-day concussion stand down, with RFM also returns from a head knock and will start lock. Josh Adokar is set to miss the next 8 weeks with an ankle injury, so Brandon Burns starts at the wing. Alright, this is a tough game to pick because I really do think this one can go either way. I wouldn't blame you for tipping either club here because it's that tough, but I honestly reckon the Bulldogs will get the win here. I reckon they'll actually defeat Parramatta at CommBank. Look, I know Parramatta had a good win yesterday. No, it wasn't really a good win because it wasn't convincing. But that win obviously gives them confidence. But I don't think you get much confidence out of beating the Tigers, do you? So I don't know. They're not convincing in my opinion. I think the Dogs will obviously feel hurt after last Friday's loss to the Rabbitohs, and I think they'll come out firing. So I think the Dogs will win here by, let's say, 4 points. And first try scorer, I'm going to go with Mike Acevo for first try scorer. But there are my tips. Going to go for my tips one more time. So Thursday night, Dolphins and the Rabbitohs. Got the Dolphins here to win. Sharks and the Roosters. Got the Roosters here. Manly and the Storm. Got Storm, unfortunately. Warriors and the Cowboys. Got the Cowboys to win. Panthers and Knights. Got Penrith to win. Titans and Broncos. Broncos to win. Raiders and Dragons, Raiders to win. And lastly, Eels and Bulldogs, Bulldogs to win. But that there are my round 7 NRL tips for 2023. Please let me know your tips in the comment section down below. I'd like to see what everyone else is backing for this weekend. we'll be looking at inches for sure. But look, it should be a good round ahead, and hopefully your team gets up for you. But thanks for watching the video. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next one.